Today we're talking about 5 tips, 5 ways to build a symbol library that will enable better, easier, seamless communication with spirits to guide you have a more exciting and spot-on life. So first of all, let's talk about how to build that symbol library. We want to avoid all those scrambled messages. We want to avoid the spirit having to play games of charades with us, having to give us visions of this or visions of that, and we just don't get it. It's really confusing. It can be very frustrating on both sides. So let's solve all that. And how do you do it? You build a symbol library. I do it in a spreadsheet. You can do it however you want to. So let's get down to it. When you build a symbol library, you want to enter into it things about people you know, things about symbols you know about, things about people with careers or illnesses or how they died. And we'll get into that in more detail shortly. But first, before we go further, remember to like this video and subscribe for more videos like this one. The first thing I want you to do is list all the people you can think of, all the people that you know, and give them at least 3 traits, strong personality traits. It could be the type of work they do, could be the type of illness that they've had, it could be how they've died if they're people that have passed on. You also want to list people that had tragic accidents, like I worked with an individual that had a terrible motorcycle accident that left him paralyzed for life. Also, I used Sonny Bono with his skiing accident. So this will really help with your communication because those people will be brought to your mind by spirit when they're trying to communicate with you. So that is tip 1. Make your list of people with at least 3 characteristics. Tip 2. List people with different types of careers. You can use for a fireman, Kurt Russell from Backdraft. I loved that movie. It was very exciting because I personally can't think of a fireman in my life. You can think of a policeman. There's so many shows with policemen in them, so just pick one. You want to list people with careers. It could be salespeople. It could be software engineers. It could be different types of engineers like structural engineers. You want to list people that are teachers. You want to also list your best teacher or your worst teacher, so those could come to mind also. So that is tip 2, listing people with careers, as broad of a list as you can think of. Tip 3, we want to list people with issues such as people with alcoholism, with different types of addiction. They're addicted to pot, they're addicted to heroin, that are addicted to sexual problems or sexual predators. For example, I listed Harvey Weinstein as a sexual violator, and I also listed Terry Hatcher of Superman fame as a woman who'd been sexually violated, as she mentioned that had happened to her as a child. She was very brave to share all of that with us. Tip 3 is to list people that have issues such as drug addiction, alcoholism, or sexual problems. Tip 4 is listing people that have had illnesses they could have currently or they could have died from. For example, I list Michael J. Fox as the individual with Parkinson's disease. I've had several friends with different types of cancer, so I listed those also. I also have a friend that had HIV, and I have other friends that have things like autoimmune diseases, or they could be psychological problems such as depression, such as anxiety, or panic attacks. So you want to list all of those if you can. Again, all of this, the purpose is to make it easier for the spirits to communicate with you. So that was tip 4, listing people with illnesses that they could have currently or could have had at some point in time, or that they died from. The 5th tip in building your symbol library is to list items, meaning individual things for you. Like I list a dark tunnel, the hearing of the train going through a dark tunnel, as knowing that someone's in a situation where they feel like they are trapped and can't get out. You can also list certain songs that can mean wonderful things too, like the wedding march, for example. And spirits can definitely send songs to you or snippets of songs while you're doing a reading or receiving guidance on your own. As far as tip 5, using symbols for state of being, I also like to use a blue blanket, meaning a person's going to have or did have a baby boy, or a pink blanket showing that a person is going to have or did have a baby girl. I also use different things like seeing a spreadsheet for letting me know that a person's in the financial industry. Also, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, the medical Katakeas staff with the 2 coiled snakes, showing that an individual is in the medical industry. I saw that very recently when I was giving a reading to a gal, and her deceased uncle showed me that medical staff, and I said to her, "It looks like you're in the medical industry," and she confirmed that she was. And he also told me that she had a great gift to that area and she should continue to pursue it further. That was especially helpful when she was trying to decide on 2 career paths. Getting assistance like that from a deceased, very intelligent, formerly successful uncle. The other thing I list in my symbol library is a tornado. A tornado is a great symbol to show that a person has a lot of extreme issues going on in their life. I saw a tornado for a woman when I was giving a reading to her, and I said, there's obviously a lot of big decisions you're undergoing right now. And she told me, absolutely. She has 2 young sons that keep her really busy and deciding on career paths, deciding on where she's going to live. It's a lot. Many of us are either going through that or have been there in the past. Helping gain that spiritual guidance is fantastic. So it helps to decide to sit and meditate and allow the spirits to communicate with you and start showing you or sending you either visual or audio signals related to these symbols that are in your library. I also love to use tarot cards for symbols for what people are expecting or doing or challenges in their life. So I'll take you through a list of those. I love the card, the Fool, because it shows that someone is rather inexperienced in an area that they're going to take off into, but it's a good opportunity for them, and they just need to be ready to have confidence and learn as they go. And of course, look for and receive guidance anywhere that they can. I also love the Knight of Wands. That means that the person is experienced. They have new projects coming to them. They're confident. They should follow their instincts and their intuitive guidance. Some other great ones are the Queen of Cups. So she symbolizes an intuitive woman. When I am shown the Queen of Cups related to myself or a reading I'm giving to someone, it shows that they're an intuitive woman, nurturing, creative, compassionate, the ideal female partner, unafraid of intimacy. Next is the Chariot. I love the Chariot because it's a symbol for success and a major departure coming, which could mean a new direction, major travel, and that they're financially on the road to success. Lastly, we'll talk about the Hierophant. This means that the person's going through a time of self-realization to develop emotionally and spiritually. They would have strong traditional values. They would need to continue to define their values, and they're questioning a decision, but they need to focus and do what's right. I'd love to hear your comments below. Do you use a symbol library, or when you create a symbol library and start using these symbols in your communication with higher realms, how has that helped you? I'd love to hear about your messages as well. Again, these can come to you clairaudiently, through your hearing, or visually.